California lawmakers and the governor continue to clash over homelessness spending and tracking the results. Governor Newsom vetoed a bill this week that would have required his administration to do a yearly review of the money the state sends to cities and counties to address homelessness. KCRA 3 Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala explains what's going on.
The bill that would have required Governor Newsom's administration to do an annual review of that money passed unanimously here out of the state capitol without any opposition. Newsom's administration says it is tracking those funds and putting a lot of responsibility on the cities and counties to do so. But lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say what the administration is doing and has been doing still is not enough.
I think that would have been a great thing to have an evaluation of whether or not it's successful from a state agency.
Republican Assemblyman Joe Patterson disappointed the governor vetoed his bill requiring the administration to do a yearly evaluation of California's homelessness, housing assistance, and prevention program.
The governor in his veto message basically said your bill would have been redundant. I mean, would it, in your eyes?
First of all, when you've basically lit $24 billion on fire, I think maybe spending another, $100,000 or so just to make sure that the reporting is accurate. I think that my measure was complementary to what the state's already doing.
For the last 4 years, the state has made $2.4 billion available for the state's large cities and all counties to use. At a hearing on the issue in May, lawmakers grilled Newsom's administration for showing up to the hearing without any data on the program's effectiveness.
We're working expeditiously.
What does that mean, though?
We're in very short order. We'll have the...
What does short order mean?
Weeks later, the administration put up a public dashboard with some of the data for the first 4 years of the HAP program. On the amount of people taken out of homelessness and into permanent housing, it only has data from 2023, stating that number was 24,197 people. And while the state has awarded cities and counties with $2.4 billion over the last 4 years, the new state data shows $1.3 billion of that has actually been spent.
It's taking a long time for the money to get to where it needs to be, which is in the hands of the people who are building the housing or servicing the homeless. And what the problem is the voters are clearly concerned that they haven't seen enough progress. Lawmakers come back in August for a month before the end of the legislative session. Lawmakers from both parties say there should be some follow-up discussion on this issue. Reporting at the state capitol, Ashley Zavala, KCRA 3 News.